Downtown Scottsbluff was the place to be Monday night as the recently renovated Midwest Theater Marquee made its grand debut. KNEB.TV News starts right now.
From your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming, this is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. In our top story, downtown Scottsbluff's iconic Midwest Theater was the focal point of a big celebration Monday night. It's been just about 1 year since the marquee at the historic theater was taken down for repairs and upgrades, and last night, hundreds of locals flocked to the 1700 block of Broadway to see it lit up for the first time in 2023. Friends of the Midwest Theater Board President Jeff Tracy says the marquee and the theater play an important part for our region.
So it has been a focal point for the community downtown area for many decades now. And it's our hope that with the restoration of the theater, the restoration of the marquee, that for the next several decades it will continue to be the focal point for downtown Scottsbluff and the community.
The marquee project had an estimated cost of $750,000, half of which was raised locally and the other from a federal shovel-ready grant from COVID stimulus funding. Tracy made a special note to thank former Executive Director Billy Estes for all of his hard work during his tenure to spearhead fundraising for the project. Well, a Bayard man indicted by a federal grand jury on 4 counts of bank fraud and 1 count of making false statements entered a plea agreement last month with federal prosecutors. On June 14th, George Liakos appeared before a magistrate judge and pleaded guilty to 1 count of bank fraud. According to the indictment, Liakos was accused of fraudulently obtaining millions of dollars in lines of credit and loans from a local bank between June of 2017 and November of 2018, resulting in a loss to the bank of more than $7.6 million. In the agreement, the 4 other charges were dropped in exchange for the plea, and the parties agreed that he be sentenced to no more than 51 months imprisonment, with restitution and special fees yet to be determined. Liakos was allowed to remain free on bond pending his sentencing, which is set for September 25th. We'll have more news right after this.
Swipe right, swipe left, endlessly searching. Finding the perfect match isn't always perfect, but it can be when it comes to finances. Nora found the perfect business loan. Jenny opened her first savings account. Grammy loves her checking account. We found a match for Wilson Farms. The Sandersons were matched with a mortgage. Regardless of your financial situation, Platte Valley Bank will match you with the perfect solution. Find your match at Platte Valley Bank.
Benzel Pest Control has been the Wyoming and Nebraska area's most committed professional pest control company. We have 4 generations and nearly 50 years of experience serving Nebraska, Wyoming, and Colorado, as well as certified entomologists on staff. So whether you're dealing with spiders, wasps, rodents, or any other unwanted visitors, give Benzel Pest Control a call today for an estimate at 888-229-2128 or visit our website at benzelpestcontrol.com.
Welcome back. A trio out of South Dakota is facing felony drug distribution and related charges following a traffic stop last week that netted over 1,400 fentanyl pills. On Friday evening, a Nebraska trooper stopped a Ford pickup northbound on Highway 71 near the Gaiman Park shooting complex for speeding, and after noticing a marijuana leaf in a ball cap on the dash, they called for a canine. After the Gering Police canine alerted for narcotics, a search uncovered 1,383 suspected fentanyl pills in a black backpack and another 45 pills found during a body search at the jail. 36-year-old Skylar Lammers and 29-year-old Kaloni Goff, both of Rapid City, and 36-year-old Corey Croyle were all arrested and charged for possession with intent to distribute fentanyl, no drug tax stamp, and possession of methamphetamine. Bond was set at $500,000, with initial appearances set for Monday afternoon in Scottsbluff County Court. Well, with approximately 700 property valuation protests, Scottsbluff County commissioners have expanded the number of days set aside to hear them. On Friday, the board held an emergency meeting to discuss the situation, and was told at 15-minute intervals the original time frame of July 18th through the 25th accommodated about 550 of the protests. A lengthy discussion then followed on that topic and others, with the board ultimately approving an additional window of July 31st through August 4th to accommodate hearings for all protests that had been filed. They expressed hope that combining hearings for property owners with more than one parcel and moving efficiently through the others, that they could accommodate all 700 protest hearings by July 25th. And Governor Jim Pillen is leading a delegation to Vietnam aimed at growing trade opportunities that will benefit the state. The group has multiple stops scheduled throughout the country during a week-long visit that started on Sunday. Other members of the team include Nebraska Department of Agriculture Director Sherry Vinton, Chancellor Joanne Lee of the University of Nebraska-Omaha, and ag-related business, academic, and government representatives.
Life is crazy. Pain is stressful. How can anybody concentrate with these busy schedules? Now you can. This is Ben Moravec coming to you from Hydrozen, a float therapy business right here in Scottsbluff. I'm here today to let you know we now have memberships for $49 monthly. You can guarantee yourself at least one float per month. You know how floating keeps your muscles relaxed, your joints relieved, and your brain clear to think? Now you can float at a reduced rate each month. Inquire today at hydrozenfloat.com or call us at 308-63-FLOAT. Hydrozen. Unplug and recharge.
Better sleep and better health can be found at Western Sleep Medicine in Gering. Since 2006, Western Sleep Medicine has offered the lowest cost sleep testing either in their independent sleep laboratory or the privacy of your own home. You have control over your health care and your out-of-pocket cost. All insurance is accepted for a much lower cost than the regional option. If you need a sleep study, ask for Western Sleep Medicine. They've helped thousands of people over the years and want to help you. Western Sleep Medicine. Better sleep, better health.
This is KNEB.TV weather from the KNEB Storm Center, your trusted source for weather.
All quiet on the weather front. It's been a while since we've been able to say that more than just a day or two in a row, but that's what we have going on. Sunny skies this evening will turn clear overnight. Stay clear, and temperatures only down into the 60s as the summer-like temps continue for another day or two. Just an isolated storm or two around, very few and far between. Things do look a little cooler for Friday and the weekend. Not bad, though, and consistently warmer, I think, starting next week. Yesterday, we hit 95 degrees. That's our warmest temperature we've had so far this year. Only the sixth time we've been above 90 degrees this year. Last year, by this time, we had been over 105 times and 26 times over 90. Precip-wise, nothing in the rain gauge yesterday. We're about a quarter of an inch above normal for the month, still 6 and change above normal for the year. We were above normal today as well, into the upper 90s out there. Very warm day today, and dry conditions going to continue into the evening hours. Are really non-zero chances of rain, but best chance of seeing some precip Friday night into Saturday, and even that will be isolated. Winds are not going to be carried away at all. Fairly calm out there with no major winds expected. We could see an isolated storm in the northern panhandle down into central and eastern portions of Nebraska. There's a slight risk of severe weather there that shifts further southeast Wednesday, and a marginal risk across the region on Thursday. Excessive rainfall outlook, heaviest rain in eastern portions of Nebraska, and that'll continue to be the area being picked on here for the next several days, but an area where they certainly need the moisture. Look at the heat building in the central portion of the country. 103 in San Antonio, 109 in Phoenix. It's 97 Scottsbluff, 89 in Cheyenne, and 89 up in Casper. As we look closer to home, look at these temperatures here, mainly in the 90s. Cooler air just off to the north, 80 at Valentine. Winds are out of the north at about 5 to 15, gusting at times to 15 to 25 miles an hour. Futurecast tonight shows just an isolated storm in the north, otherwise quiet weather overnight. Clear skies, light winds, very comfortable evening out there. And tomorrow, more of the same. Sunshine overhead. It's going to be another warm one tomorrow. Just a few late day clouds on into Thursday. As you can see, it's quiet out there. Not really much going on. Some showers and storms in the Sandhills late Thursday. Those could be a bit more active. And then we might see a storm late Friday. Lows overnight, 50s and 60s. Highs tomorrow, 80s and 90s. Our 7-day forecast, we'll get to that here after we look at precip. Heaviest in the Sandhills and points to the east. Clear skies tonight, 61 for a low. Tomorrow, how about mainly sunny, warm, 92 your high. Now that 7-day forecast, we've got temps into the low mid-90s out there. Tomorrow and Thursday, some isolated storms late Friday into Saturday. We drop back into the 50s, or 80s rather, right back to near 90s Sunday and in the mid-90s by the middle of next week.
Santa is back. It's Christmas in July 2023, and Renewal by Andersen is giving the best gift ever this year. First, you get 20% off every window and patio door, and get this. No money down, no interest, no payments for 18 months. That means no payments until 2025. But act fast. Santa and the reindeer can't take the heat. This offer ends August 15th. Book your free estimate right now at rbawyoming.com. Renewal by Andersen's Christmas in July sale is here. Thank you, Santa.
This is KNEB.TV Ag News from the FNBO Ag Desk. FNBO, the great big small bank.
Welcome to Fridays in the Field, brought to you by FNBO, the great big small bank. Welcome back to Wilsonville, Nebraska in south central Nebraska, where the reality of farming and the life of agriculture is on full display at the moment. Once again, we're on SR Farms, Alfalfa Company, and Husker Hay Haulers, and I'm talking with Steve Rice. And Steve, we met last time. Things were really looking up. We were hopeful we were breaking out of a drought. First cutting was coming in a little awkward, but yet the first cutting was actually going to be there. Shortly after we talked, plans kind of have just went in all different directions. Kind of update us what's happened since then.
Well, when we talked, we had cut some hay on May 20th, trying to build some inventory. And about 5 days later, it started raining, and it hasn't stopped. We're experiencing really strange weather, big storms, and throughout the entire month of May and June, we've fought 9 inches in rain in one storm on one farm. Last Wednesday, which should have been the end of June, we had a storm come through Wilsonville that just riddled us with baseball-sized hail, and it hailed for 48 minutes. So we have a lot of damage on the property. We have a lot of crops that are damaged. Unfortunately, the wheat harvest for the guys that have wheat, it wiped that out. And dealing with picking up debris in hay fields and hauling it off and trying to get the hay out of the mud and starting over.
And that really brings up that question, that hailstorm that came through, and again, just about a week from when we're talking here today, baseball-sized hail, 48 minutes. When you look at the corn's back to sticks. You look at the soybeans, that's almost non-existent. For an alfalfa plant, for an alfalfa crop, something that fully intends to be cut, regrown, what happens in that situation?
Well, a lot of the time, you need to get in there and clean off what's left. Unfortunately, we've had wet soil conditions, and we're a week since that storm hit, and we're just now today starting to run some swathers out into the field, try to clean that crop off and get what we can get and get the new crop coming. There may be some fields that we are not able to do that in, and hopefully the plant will just struggle back. I don't think it killed the plant, but it's sure been hard on the lower waterways. We've still got water standing in some places, and unfortunately the forecast isn't looking too good for the next week either. So,
on the demand side of it, when we talked to that first time, of course, a drought is good for hay quality. You had some really supreme alfalfa that was just green and leafy and looked beautiful. We're on the opposite end of that scale now. We're dealing with hay that's been rained on, different things. So now we've got plenty of grinding quality. We're looking for high quality hay. What are you hearing from customers? Is this something that they can handle that transition, or is it still a tough market?
They're going to have to be looking in some other directions for some alfalfa, unfortunately. I've had some customers call and I've had to tell them that, I'm out of old crop inventory. I generally have new crop, we're talking about July. And I don't have any new crop dairy quality alfalfa this year yet. So the grinding market has softened a little bit. You're not looking as near as high a price for the grinding hay as what it was there 2-3 months ago. But all we can do is try. We're trying to get back into our calendar where we're cutting on 28 days, and we're still behind on that. But unfortunately, there's not a lot of high quality relative feed value in southwest Nebraska right now.
The Nebraska Alfalfa Marketing Association, you talked about it in our last episode, in situations like this where now clients both on the farming side and on the buying side, they're facing it. Is this where NAMA can really help kind of step up and help connect people?
Sure. I'll tell that to my customers too, that if I don't have it, I'll find somebody in the association that does, work with Barb Canan, and then get them in contact with somebody that has it, help them find the hay that they need until I have some inventory and get back into a dairy quality market. But yeah, Nebraska Alfalfa will help find what they need.
So again, and that's my next question, as we start looking down the road, we'll be talking another 6 to 8 weeks. What helps you get through that period?
A break in the weather, a break in the weather. We can put up a lot of stuff in a short amount of time, but we have to have weather conditions that will allow us to get our machines into the field and put it up properly. And if you get that, then we can maybe get some inventory build up, and we'll just keep trying. That's all we can do.
Well, Steve, thank you so much again for allowing us some time out of your day. I know you've got a lot of things to get to. Before I let you go, final closing thoughts, important information we've overlooked for this episode?
There's a lot of people in southwest Nebraska that lost a lot of crops and that are dealing with a lot of things. So, we'll get through it. If you need some inventory, get a hold of Barb Canan at the Nebraska Alfalfa Marketing Association. And if you need help moving some of your inventory, she's a great aspect. That organization does a good job. So that's what I'd have to say today.
Wise words. We're going to keep these farmers in southwest and south central Nebraska in our thoughts and prayers as well. It's Fridays on the Field, brought to you by FNBO, the Great Big Small Bank.
Why love a rain garden? Let me count the ways. Rain gardens contain and filter water runoff while recharging our underground water supply. They provide habitat for birds, bees, and beneficial insects. Native perennials give 4 seasons of color and texture, beautifying a home while increasing its value. Established gardens are low-maintenance, low-water landscape features, colorful, functional, and sustainable. Rain gardens, brought to you by Tri-City Stormwater. Our water, our responsibility.
Let's take a look at your community calendar, brought to you by Riverstone Bank. The community calendar is brought to you by Riverstone Bank. We're local and we love our community.
At Platte Valley Bank, we want to help you plan for tomorrow while you enjoy today. Our personalized trust services can help you do just that. You've worked hard to build your legacy, and you want to make sure that gets passed on for generations to come. We offer the professional guidance necessary to ensure that happens, according to your wishes. We pride ourselves in being friendly and professional while offering a highly tailored full line of trust and estate planning services to accommodate you. You belong here.
And finally, tonight, 7 Nebraska Panhandle veterans received a Quilt of Valor on Sunday. The veterans were nominated to receive their Quilt of Valor in recognition of their military service. The quilts are made by individuals and groups who volunteer with the Quilts of Valor Foundation to give back to our veterans. Chris Wolf, the area coordinator for the Panhandle Block's Quilt of Valor program, shares her thoughts.
I think it's a really special thing to be able to make a quilt, a handmade quilt for a veteran. And for them to know that this is a way for us as a nation to say thank you. We're going to wrap them up in this quilt, and every time they wrap themselves up in this quilt, we want them to feel the love and the gratefulness from a grateful nation.
The Quilt of Valor Foundation was started in 2003, though there has only been a group in the Panhandle for the last 5 years. The foundation has given away approximately 350,000 quilts nationwide and nearly 800 here in the Panhandle. Well, that does it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you here next time.